Hey, friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Grind. Pouring you up a nice hot cup of joe, get that day off to a bright and beautiful start. Let's check in, okay? The first card that I see, this is just the bottom of the deck, is High Honor, okay? This usually speaks to like something getting your attention. It doesn't really take a whole lot, right? It's kind of like, obviously, if you look at the world, there's tensions. I want to say we've gotten some feedback from Japan that's kind of like drawing or attracting, when there could be like, certain laws or things that are passed. Sometimes it's just like stuff going on in your job, right? Maybe the boss gets walked out. It's those types of things that people pay attention to or that you notice without someone having to tell you like, hey, you need to pay attention to this. So I just feel like look at that in certain areas of life. This is like illness, right? Nobody has to tell you, oh, it looks like you're ill. When you feel it like you can't help but notice it. It literally compels you. So something about that energy at play today. I also kind of get this energy of like a question of, I don't know if this is good or bad, because sometimes when this comes in, it can indicate that you notice this could be like someone else's energy, right? You recognize maybe a unique energy. I know what this is, or like something that I don't necessarily get that it feels familiar. It just feels like it feels very distinct. And in whatever the distinctive nature of that energy is, it's almost like, what is this? Is kind of what it feels. I am getting a message though to temper your judgments. And this could be other people towards you, but I just feel like make sure you're being very discerning, because I do feel the energy of someone who's simply very unique. And I feel there's a potential to misjudge in that. But I also feel that with whatever this, and this doesn't have to be a person, it can be a situation, but in whatever this situation is, whomever this is going to come with very unique signs. I feel that they're for your benefit. Okay. I feel like there's something about their energy that will be healing in areas where you need healing, but it's almost like, I don't know why I'm getting the energy of like pranked, right? Is this a trick? Are you tricking me? Are you trying to prank me? That's kind of what it feels like, but it feels like it could very well be someone who's there to heal. Look at this. We have Earth's heart here. So like I said, I feel like, I like this card number 52. The number could be significant, breaks down to a 7. I really do. And I see a rose here in the center of this card. I just feel like whatever this is coming in today, there's a grace for it to come in. And I like I said, I just feel a strong energy of like a lot of questions or like uncertainty. I don't know about you, or I don't know about this, but this says depth, pulse, buried treasure. And that's what I feel. I feel like this is something, I feel like you maybe you've been through so much that it has you kind of questioning validity, where when something that is kind of like, yeah, I hear a Tamala man, I could only imagine something that's only like maybe in your imagination or that you fathom, or like your fairy tale, something that maybe you thought wasn't possible. When that comes in, I feel like you may have a tendency to kind of feel like this can't be real, right? Who is that? Selena, as I'm dreaming of you tonight. But that's how it feels. It feels like you kind of, there's something about it that feels maybe etheric, but I feel like, I can't lie, I feel like you're likely with the High Honor card, and we're going to pull one from this deck as well, you could certainly be like getting attention from the other side that is kind of causing like those imaginable occurrences to take place. Amidst our phenomenal scientific pursuits, we have yet to journey to the core of the earth. We can only suppose what is there. Such is the mystery of the Coverum Terra card, okay, which is the Latin words here that you see depicted on the card. It's Earth's heart, if we translate. It is related to the archetypal image of the cave and the fourth chakra located at the heart, which we know the heart is the place from which we manifest. This card appears when there is something blossoming deep within that requires our attention, our tending to, which does resonate with what we see here, okay? It could be a new love, a way of serving others, or an offering to the planet and its resources. In alchemical texts, Culverum Terra roughly translates to the earth is the true heart. The journey of discovery will take you through many layers, slowly revealing her gifts. This is proof of Earth's longing to provide, to teach. You've already felt the pulse of the Earth's heart. Now it's time to listen, to be a student of her wisdom. Reading this obviously deepens the context. This doesn't have to be a person or a situation. It could be something that, again, with high honor, like spirit is getting your attention. Like, is this really what you want me to do? Sometimes we'll question spirit, but it's deep, something deep within you. Spirit is saying, yes, tend to this, do what it nourish this, put some energy into this. And you're saying, spirit, is that, is this really where you want me to, maybe it is spend my time, right? It could be a who, right? Spirit is not barring to that, but I just feel this energy with Earth's heart. Spirit is saying, and this could even be in something that you've already started, dig deeper into this, put more into it, right? And you could be questioning it, because sometimes it's that energy of questioning is because perhaps we've already made some sort of an investment and we're saying, spirit, you want me to do more? You want me to give more? You want me to get deeper? And spirit may be saying, yes, 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 yes. Yeah. I feel like something that, keep in mind, this can even be creative blocks or you not being able to go a certain direction. Okay. I also feel this energy of what could be the comfort zone. Okay. And I don't think it means that you're comfortable. Sometimes you're in a comfort zone, you're not comfortable, but you can't figure out, you have to, it's almost like being contented. I feel like you have been in a position where it was uncomfortable or has been uncomfortable, but when you're in a situation where there's not a whole lot that you can do about that, then you simply have to, I hear wade in the water. So I feel like you've had to simply, you have to be contented. You can't just be begrudging or loathsome. And I feel although I don't know, it kind of gives doing a sentence, right? Doing a bid, prison time. You think if you were to get sentenced in some way, once I'm in there, I can't do anything about that. So there's this energy that's making the best of it, right? I don't like how it feels. Again, this can be a relation, being stuck in a situation, a circumstance, right? A tax bracket. But until whatever my next move or next step comes, then, this is just what it is. So I feel like in that regard, you've created somewhat of a comfort zone where you've maybe made yourself comfortable. And I feel like that was valuable to you. I feel like energetically that was valuable to you. And the house card came out and the privileged lady is at the bottom of the deck. Okay. Now, when I see this, it makes me feel like this in particular dealt with some aspect of what could be one of your something in your astrological chart. I feel like that had to be dealt with internally within you. This can be things having to do with your habits, right? Your lifestyle, the way perhaps that you treat your body, right? Because again, it's if you get sick, then that illness or that sickness, it being stuck with whatever that the ailment or the symptoms are, it puts you in a position where, again, it takes your attention, but to taking care of your house, your body, your temple in the way that demonstrates the privilege to be able to do so. You treat yourself delicately. You're going to be kind or gentle to yourself so that you preserve yourself, right? Preserve your health, preserve your livelihood. Similarly, in all kinds of situations, right? The examples could go on and on. So I feel like whatever situation you were in with the privileged lady, I feel like there's a recognition of like the privilege that it is. Maybe it is kind of like to take care of you, to be who you are, even to be with you, perhaps, right? To be in relationship with you. Whenever you're stuck in a situation, a lot of times you take inventory, if you will, of it's like taking stock of all of the gifts that you have, the talents that you have, the value adds that you bring to the table. And usually it's because in some way you're employing them, you are putting them to use when it comes to you being able to secure yourself while in that circumstance, but also to get out. And so in the realization of all it is that's actually in there, I feel like you recognize, perhaps even when it comes to situations, circumstances, opportunities that are external to you, that there's a certain way with Earth's heart that when it comes to depth, others have to dig. Perhaps even you have to dig deeper, right? This can be like a try harder energy. If you're in a position where, people didn't have to try very hard or didn't take a whole lot. It can even be like job, career, right? Like I have to dig deeper, right? I need more, right? That can be more money, but it can also be like appreciation. It's a privilege to work with me. So I don't want to be in this position again. So I have to, with the Earth's heart, my heart, whatever this has to touch my heart in a deeper way is what I feel. I have to give attention to this, or they have to give attention to this. And when you're bringing something to their attention or to someone's awareness, I feel like with the Bear card, the card that's coming out, and the owl is kind of like a silent energy, but observant. And I feel like that's what you're doing in one way or another today. You're observing, but it's almost like you're also observing and making note or keeping record of what's not being said. And with the Bear, it makes me feel like there's value in that. There's value in everything that you observe. You're taking it all into account. And I feel like it's showing you how you need to, what feels like, it's almost like it's showing you perhaps how you're valued by others. It's also showing you, how secure you can be in perhaps investing in, and this could be like going deeper into a situation or a conversation or something of that nature. I can't lie, it kind of feels like that. So if you're guided to go deeper, sometimes that can be where we question spirit and say, oh, I don't know, right? I know they heard me, right? I know I said this. I know they understood, could be what that is, but so it can kind of be like wanting to perhaps keep appearances, maybe not wanting to come across as a troublemaker, but I also feel this energy of being in a position where, with the privilege, there's some things that you require. It's almost like service needs to be given to this. This has to be taken care of is what it feels like. Let's get a Sixth Sense. Naughty or nice card fell out. I just heard the devil has horns. I see free spirit. Then the free spirit card fell out, and naughty and nice is at the bottom of the deck now. So I'm just going to take those. It makes me feel like some aspect, you may be tapping into some aspect of your free spirit today, where spirit is asking you to be liberated by walking by spirit, be secure, knowing that it is a privilege, I feel, for spirit to inhabit your house. This can mean that you're protective, where perhaps there is with Earth's heart, if something is getting deeper. This could be where you're wanting attention giving to something, or you're noticing someone else is giving attention to something. And in that, you may be with your free spirit taking the liberty, if you will, upon yourself to say or to do something, which, like I said, could indicate that you are being perceived by another as naughty or as nice. Okay. And that could be that you go either way by you doing this. This could mean that someone gets mad because you're so free or you're so liberated in whatever this is. Okay. It could also be someone else. But I just feel like, remember what spirit has taught you. Remember, because I feel like something feels about today that it has to do with, or there's a connection to some sort of cycle that you've been through. And I also feel that you are unique. You're uniquely guided. So you do things differently than what other people do. And I feel similarly, as it pertains to others' approach to you. I feel like there could be people who are similarly unique, but there will always be the connection at Earth's heart that will show you whether or not there is spiritual liberty that warrants the privilege, I feel, of what feels like could be like giving information, details, spending your time, your energy. This could be like knowing your business and saying, well, look at this bottom of the deck where the card fell, another house. So we got two house cards. Okay. So again, house could be like your body. It could be birth chart. House could also be like, a space, like your heart, right? Which makes me feel like this could have to do with like your life, your business. You think about what you keep in your house, all your valuables. So this could have something to do with something that is valuable, something that is important. And someone could want in, someone could want details. But I just feel like use wisdom. Okay. That's the bottom. Card number 13. Money, 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 money. 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 Boom, 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 boom. Wow, chicka, wow, wow. Money. 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 Card number 17. This is what fell out. You see slot machine with cash literally just falling. But I have to say, I feel like that's who you are. And I can't lie. This is a money card, earth energy with the bear. This is everything about like being resourceful, saving, conserving, wise investments. You think about bear hibernation, it's planning for the future. It is being a good steward or a good keeper, being protective over my resources. And again, not just money, but all of these things are demonstration of the energy that's cultivating of wealth. Because I just heard sell my secrets back to me if I was paying. This could be like keeping secrets, right? Keeping promises, a demonstration of relationship with the bear. You protected me, you saved me, you kept me secure, you took care of me. And the money card is kind of giving the impression, and I don't know how this is coming in exactly today. I will say that. And for those of you who are not on Patreon, you should check the link below and join us on Patreon, because we're going to get our deeper messages that go deeper in the tarot. But I will say this, something feels as though this energy that we're seeing here today could include, I don't know who, okay, let me just say that. Someone could get mad. It could be you, okay? Let's talk about that, right? Sometimes you're saying it's a privilege, it's going to cost you, right? Someone could get mad, right? You're all about the money, right? That could be how they think. But they don't know what it is that you had to grow through in order to get what it is that you had to get. Okay. So I do kind of feel an energy. There could be something about gatekeeping that could be significant. Okay. What's the flip side of that, right? Where this could certainly be you have a wealth of information. And with free spirit, Earth's heart, I feel this very deeply. Some of y'all, this is what's going to happen. Okay. You could be doing this for someone else. Someone else could be doing this for you. Let me just say this. Yeah, this is the prophecy. I feel it. There's going to be a connection between two people or entities today that is divinely appointed. You are a free spirit and they are a free spirit, and you're both operating in the cadence of Earth's heart. It is a privilege for them to encounter you. It is a privilege for you to encounter them. When this encounter is made, whoa, the richness and the value, the wealth of the energy that is felt will be known. It will go without saying that this is worth it. They are worth it. They're worth the time. They're worth the money. They're worth the information. They're worth the evidence. This is very, very, very valuable. Okay. They will know the value. They will know the cost. So some of you, this is someone who's going to know the cost of the oil in your alabaster box. They're going to know the cost of what you went. You tell them what you went through, because they know what it takes, what you have to go through. They're going to know the cost and how valuable that cost was. Through this mutual connection, Spirit is going to give them the liberty to do something to bless you. It is going to give you the liberty to do something to bless them. And it's because you're both operating on Earth's heartbeat. That's why this is going to feel like a fairy tale, because it's unheard of. This doesn't happen. But this is the difference between false idols and real idols, and I can't get too deep into this, but you have people who idolize things, right? And you also have people who idolize people, but the reasons that they idolize people are because of the things that a person maybe does for them versus idolizing the God in them, right? It's totally different, right? The difference here in the reason that this divine alignment is taking place is because this is alignment between two people who idolize the God in one another. So when it comes to that level of worship, I can freely give to you as if you are God, because this is not a sacrifice. It is an offering, because you're so worthy. You are so worthy. You are so worthy. You are so worthy. You are so worthy. You deserve it all. You're going to know this. You're going to know this. You're worth it. You're worth it. You are worth it. You are worth it. They know it. You know it. And collectively, you will both know it. Let me just say, this coming together is going to, I just heard, be a cash cow. So some of you, this is going to be somebody that you're going to do business with. But I feel even more deeply than that this coming together is going to produce a very sacred energy that is wealthy, because the spiritual liberty is simply going to expand by virtue of your connection. You're going to be a good steward towards them, and they're going to be a good steward towards you. They're going to be responsible. There's things that you're just going to hear, you're going to pick up, you're going to know in the spirit, and you're going to take the liberty to protect them. They're going to do the same for you. And for people who are idolizing this, right? Yeah, I just heard your price is way too high. You need to cut it. Okay. There could be some people that do that. I feel that's where the anger is coming in. And like I said, you might even be in a position where you like, I'm not money hungry, right? You just mad, right? I kind of get something like that. I feel like we're not going to worry about the haters. We're not going to worry about the folks who's mad. We're just going to appreciate the value that has been placed in us. We're not going to idolize, I feel, the resources that come a result of that, okay? I want to pull one more out of this deck before we go over to tarot. Mujaji! And look, Sachi, grounding is what this card says. So I feel that with Earth's Heart, card number 3, and Mujaji, manifestation, which we saw yesterday. Underneath Sachi is Mayat, giving and receiving. And that's honestly what I feel is a giving and receiving. You're giving them something, and the liberty with which you are giving is very valuable to whomever this is. The liberty with which they are giving to you is very valuable to you. It's very grounding though. So this is very practical. It's something that I feel is a resource that's useful for you. And again, there's this question, are you tricking me? Are you me, right? Are you just playing, right? Are you messing with me? This could even be like the universe is giving you something, and you could be asking, what? Are you crazy? Universe, are you crazy? Mujaji, manifestation. Card number 9. That's what I have for you. Let's go over to Patreon. Love you, and I'll talk to you soon.